Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another live episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. So, as you guys are coming in, if you are looking for some assistance with maybe some Algebra 1, a little bit of Algebra 2, if your teacher is finally getting you into rational expressions and you're feeling a little ick about it, if you want to elaborate on how to do factoring and how to pass maybe some of those tougher questions that you see on the GED, the ACCUPLACER, ASVAB, you're in the right place. So, as you guys are coming on in, let's get ourselves situated as we're about to go into simplifying rational expressions. Hello everyone, welcome on in. So yes, Kevin, factoring, woo! Yes, we're gonna do a little bit of factoring, a little bit of canceling out, and a little bit of simplification. So, as you guys are coming on in, hello. I go ahead and just get yourself situated with the first example. Let's make sure we get that down in our notes. And we're actually going to get started momentarily. I just want to give people enough time. As someone rudely said to me, you always start on time. Like, that's a bad thing. Like, I am so sorry that I usually tutor and I'm giving up my time for free to help you with mathematical concepts. It's crazy. And they're still not here. But anyway, so what we're doing is we're actually taking a little bit of what we were kind of working on yesterday with the rational expression. The reason why it's a rational expression because we actually have an operation happening either in the numerator and or the denominator. So we are going to simplify. And the way we're going to simplify is a little combination of factoring as well as the old time just canceling out. So, for our first example, we have 2x cubed minus 6x, and it's all over 6x squared. So, one of the things that we could do is we can, right from the beginning, just go ahead and see if we can simplify. But I want to do a little bit of factoring. So, anytime I see a exponent, or degree that's more than one, I'm always asking myself, do I have a GCF? And if the answer is yes, let's factor that bad boy out. So just in the numerator, 2x cubed minus 6x, what do they all have in common? Go ahead and put that into the chat. And I'm going to use my half sheet just to cover up the denominator so we can just focus solely on the numerator. Okay, so Kevin's saying X. Denise is saying X. There's something else. Hello, Lynette. Okay, something else. What else do they have? Okay, they do have an X, but what else do they have in common? Hello, everyone that's coming on in. Okay, knockout 6. They do have a coefficient. What is that? London. There we go. Maria. There we go. There we are. Fraud. That's funny. Okay, so 2 and 6, they're both multiples of 2. So we're going to factor out that 2. Okay, and as you guys mentioned before, there's 3 x's here, there's 1 x there. They at least have 1 x in common. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to divide our original by our GCF, and what remains will go inside the parenthesis. So if we take a look at 2 divided by 2 will give me 1. There's 3 x's here. We take 1 x out. That means there are 2 x's remaining. Bring down my minus sign. So we have 6x divided by 2x. 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. There's 1x here. We pulled 1x out, so there's no x's remaining. Okay? Yes. All right? So this is what we have for our numerator. So now we're going to bring over our denominator, because since we do not have an expression like a plus or minus, we just simply have our 6x squared. So now, we can't really touch anything inside the parenthesis. The reason why, 3 is an odd number and I'm dealing with squares, and 3 is definitely not a perfect square. So what's happening inside this parenthesis is going to stay right where it is. But we can simplify our ratio. Okay, we talked about that yesterday. So 2 and 6, they both have 2 in common. Oh, good job, Peggy. I'm so excited for you. 98.5? Woohoo! Well, congratulations, girl. Love it. All right. So 2 and 6, they both have a 2 in common. So if we simplify that, basically we're looking at dividing 2. That's how we simplify fractions. You find what they have in common and you divide by them. So 2 divided by 2, that will give me 1. And 6 divided by 2, that will give me 3. Okay, so up in this numerator, I'm still going to keep my x squared minus 3. But look right here, my x's. There's 1x there. There's 2 x's there. There's going to be 1x remaining, and it's going to go in the denominator. If you don't believe me, remember we did this last time. So I have an x in the numerator. I have 2 x's in the denominator. If I go to cancel them out, I have 1x remaining, and it remains in the denominator. So that's why in the denominator we have 3x. And what's left in the numerator, because that canceled out and this canceled out, what's left is our x squared minus 3. And as you can tell, x squared, as I said, 3 is an odd number. It's not a perfect square, so we won't be able to factor this out. If you want to have fun factoring out, go ahead. Let me not step on your dream. But after you go into a nice little spiral and you're like, I used to have a life, that's when you're going to be like, I should have listened to Audrey and just stopped where I was. Okay? All right. So when you're simplifying expressions, we want to see if we can factor them. Factor out with the GCF and then simplify your whole numbers as well as your variables. All right, so now let me take a look. All right, taking my ASVAB Monday. I'm nervous. Junior, it is what it is. Okay, you're going to go in there and you're going to take it. All right, don't worry about messing up, because guess what? That's when you're going to mess up. All right, you're going to prepare yourself to go into the military. This is probably your hope and your dream. So just go in there. Go in there and take that test. Make it your B. All right. What would what would E happen if instead of 6x squared, we would have 7x squared? Well, if we had 7x squared, we wouldn't be able to reduce, Kevin. Okay, we wouldn't be able to reduce at all. Okay, so if this was a 7, 2 and 7, the only thing they have in common is 1. Okay, so then you will just reduce just the x's. So the x in the numerator will be gone, but the x in the denominator that's left over will remain. So it would be like a 2 parenthesis x squared minus 3, and then here would have been your 7x instead of a 3x. Okay. Hey, this makes my brain hurt. Well, wait until Sunday. Rest it up as best as you can. All right. All right, so let's take it up. Well, maybe not up a notch, but let's take it to another level. Not too much, nothing too crazy. All right. And while I'm writing this down, if you guys want to tap, that will be amazing. That will be awesome. All right, so we have 2r minus 4 over r minus 2. Okay, so tonight we're only going to go for an hour. So we're going to try to get as much as we can in here. Hello, Robert. Pleasure. All right, doing as much as we can to do in that hour's time. Okay. So, looking at my numerator, okay, so we have 2r minus 4, r minus 2. So just looking at my numerator, the 2r minus 4, do we have a GCF? Oh, well, thank you. So we got a 2, with question marks. Drop these question marks, gentlemen, because you are correct, okay? So what we have in common is a 2, not a 2r. The reason why we don't have a 2r is because we only have one r here and we don't have any r's there. So we don't have any r's in common. Yes, pretty eyes, hey. All right, so we have our 2. So now, what is going to go inside my parenthesis? What's going to go inside that parenthesis? Okay, I'm seeing r minus 2. In flops we trust. Okay, Ash, good. R minus 2, R minus 2, good. Ash, R minus 2. Shavu, yes, my brain could never math. Well, it's mathing now, baby. Okay, so if I do 2r divided by 2, that will give me 1r. Okay, bring down my minus sign. Then I have 4 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 will give me 2. Okay? So it's almost like you're doing the distributive property in reverse. When you're doing it in reverse, you are dividing as opposed to multiplying. All right? Okay? So now let's bring in the denominator. What do you notice? What do we notice right here? Put in the chat. What do you notice? Ooh, Miss Adventure saying cross it out. They cancel out. Okay. They're saying that we should have just an answer of 2 with Sandra. Okay, will the answer be 2? Question mark. Drop the question mark. Okay, put your shoulders back, the same variables. It's the same in the brackets, so cross it out. Yes. All right, so think about it. we're doing division. Anytime we have a number divided by a number, it will equal 1. So say for instance, if I had 3 divided by 3, that would equal 1. Same thing happens with expressions. When they're exactly the same, one's in the numerator and one's in the denominator. That's important. They can't be both in the denominator or both in the numerator. One has to be in the numerator and one has to be in the denominator. So they will cancel out and give me 1. But 1 times anything is going to be itself. So instead of me doing 2 times 1, I could just simply bring the 2 over. And my answer is going to be 2. Do I tutor statistics, Coco? No, that is not my thing. I'm so sorry. But I do got a guy. So if you're serious about it, go ahead. Make sure you message me. And then I'll get you guys linked up, okay? I will definitely do that. So far, I'm good, but factoring gets me when I have 3 or more terms. Okay. It's all good. It's all good. Well, I don't want you to struggle, Coco. Like, I really don't, you know? So if it really gets to a point that you're just like, yeah, give him a call for me, please. Okay, he's just as patient as I am. Is the top finished? Yes, the top is definitely finished. This top one is finished. And this one is finished. Let me see if I can shrink a little bit. And you know, like towards the end, I will definitely show my notes again so you can see it. All right. Okay. Well, let's do a mad tap. Can we do a mad tap to about 3K before we get started with the next problem? Can we do that? Like a crazy mad tap? Why not? Taps away. That would be so awesome. Let's see if we can get to 3K while I'm setting up the next one. And all of a sudden, I'm probably going to see like no taps at all. When you see the problem, you're going to be like, wait, what? But we're doing so well. And I'm here to support you, okay? You're not by yourself trying to figure life out, okay? So let's do this. 5 plus 6. Okay, well, thank you. Greatly appreciate that. All right. Okay, so let me zoom in just a hair. Okay, so the next one is x plus 6. Okay, so we do have an expression over an expression. You're probably like, whoa, there's 3 terms. Okay, so we're going to go back to a little bit of factoring as I mentioned early on. Okay, so again, step by step, breathe. Do I tutor account? Do I tutor accounting? Is that what you're asking, Raquel? Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm just trying to catch up with all the stuff. All right. So my numerator is already factored at its lowest term. How I know that? It has an exponent of 1. This is what's called a linear function. Okay, if you don't see an exponent, it's assumed to be a 1, and this expression is linear. However, down in the denominator, it's another little story. Okay, so down in the denominator, my highest exponent is a 2. Anytime I see my highest degree or my highest exponent, that's a 2, that means I need to factor it. So remember, I'm not sure if you remember, depending how you are. Okay, I'm going to break down this expression into 2 products, okay, 2 factors. So when my leading coefficient, okay, the highest degree, the number in front of the x is called the leading coefficient. When that leading coefficient is 1, right away, I go ahead and split my variable into each of the parentheses. Okay, we're doing okay. All right. Yikes. It's okay. Breathe, breathe, listen to the music. All right, okay. So, now, this is the toughest part. The toughest part is I need to know what two numbers multiply will give me a -6 and add together to give me 5. This is the toughest part, okay? Because we need to know our multiplication tables. It's okay, breathe. Do I do calculus? Not really. Okay, all right, breathe. So, if you understand your multiplication, you'll be able to finagle it. So this is why, if you're looking, this is why I developed what's called a factor sheet. So we're looking at factors of 6. Okay, let me see if I can get up on the screen. Yeah, live and direct. All right, so two numbers multiplied together to give me a 6 and add together to give me a -6, add together to give me a -5. So that means one of these digits, of these groups of digits, one of them has to be negative. So if I tried to do 2 and 3, if I made the 3 negative, I'm going to get a -1 because -3 plus 2 gives me a -1. If I try to make the 2 negative, that means 3 plus -2 will give me a +1. Remember, the goal is to add together to give me 5. So if I make the 6 negative, -6 plus 1 gives me a -5. We're not looking for a -5, we're looking for a +5. So that will give me my indication that I should make this 1 negative and keep this 6 positive, okay? Because a +6 plus a -1 will give me a +5. So going back, the factors that we're looking for, again, we got 6 and 1, but we want this 1 to be negative. So we're going to use those two numbers to fill in these two spots. So since it's a +6, I'm going to put +6. And since it's a -1, I'm going to do -1. Okay, so a lot of people said 6 and -1. Good job. All right. Okay, I'm trying to look for some questions. Memory unlocked. It's coming through. Okay. Right? But see, was it Myra? I want to say Myra or Mayra. When you use -2 and -3, that does give me a +6 when you multiply. But if you add -2 and -3, you're going to get a -5. And we want a +5. Okay? Good, Kevin. Keep breathing. I would say head between your knees, but then you wouldn't be able to see. Okay? All right. So now, let me clean this up for you just a little bit. So I'm just going to rewrite. So we have x plus 6. And then we have our two parentheses. So the two parentheses replaced this expression. So we have x plus 6 and x minus 1. All right. Now, what do we notice? I know the answer. Okay. What grade is this? This is mostly like Algebra 2. I want to say Algebra 2, a little bit of pre-calc. First semester. First quarter, actually. Okay. Hey, Taz. All right. So, x plus 6 in the numerator. X plus 6 in the denominator. They can cancel out. Okay? That's going to give me my 1. So, for the denominator, what's left over is what I saw like, I don't know, 20 million messages ago. You will see x minus 1. But then the 1 that we got from the cancellation is going to be in the numerator. Okay? So if there's nothing left in the numerator, you always put a 1. Not a 0, but a 1. Okay? So my answer is going to be 1 over x minus 1. All right, good. Too cute to be me. You are smart. What are you talking about? I wish I was smart. You are smart. What are you talking about? We just learned this in 8th grade Algebra 1. All right, awesome. Okay, my calculus teacher asked about your book today because I was taking notes in it. Ooh, thank you. That was the inner child coming out. I don't know why she goes, ooh, but here we are. So where can you find the book? I have it. You can go to my profile. And if you go to my website, you'll see the Ultimate Math Notebook. And you can click, it'll take you directly to the site on Amazon. Or you can just type my name in Amazon and you can take a look at all my books that I have there. And you can go ahead and order it. So this one was my latest one. Okay. So it has like the green, it has this one and there was another one. But everyone knows there is so much paper. Okay. But everyone knows this one. The one with the lava lamp inspired cover. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. All right. So, how are we feeling so far with this? How are we feeling a little bit? Something new, something different, something to stimulate the brain before you go to bed. Like, who wants their brain stimulated before they go to bed? I don't know. But here we are. All right, awesome. All right, so let me take it a slight notch. Just slightly. Just a tiny bit. You're probably like, you're trying to kill us. No, I'm not trying to kill you. All right. So talk to me if you're not getting. If you're just like, this is crazy. Okay, it's about factoring and canceling. Yes. So it's probably going to have a common thing on top and on bottom. Look at you, mind reader. Can we do one when we have a number, the first one, still with 3 terms? I'm going to try. I'm going to try. It is on my list of stuff to do, to be honest with you, Kevin. It is on. I do have a couple of them. All right, so here we go. So we have x squared minus 7x minus 30. That's your numerator. The denominator, x squared minus 5x minus 24. Okay. When I was in college. I don't know. But I am here now. I probably was struggling with math just like everyone else. Oh my God, I used to suck at math. And now, look at me, I'm a math person. Who knew? See? Everyone can learn. All right? So, try to find the factors of the numerator and try to find the factors of the denominator. That's your first step. Okay. Oh, good. Yeah, it's always nice to have a good teacher that just like literally takes their time with stuff. I know that's kind of what got me into math, teaching math. My math teacher, Mr. Caruso, used to call me Shorty. I'm 6'1". And the man was maybe 5'2". Maybe. Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay, can you answer it? Not just yet. Not just yet. Let's see if people can kind of get with it, struggle a little bit. Okay. Let's see what people are going to get. We're going to set it up right in places first. Yes. Yes, Dolores, we are. Let's see if we can factor it and then set it up inside those places. Okay. Good. So, Kevin, you're in the right direction because there isn't a GCF. So now try to think of this part. What two numbers multiplied will give you the n numbers and add to give you the middle numbers. So what two numbers multiplied together will give you -30 and add to give you -7? What two numbers multiplied together will give you -24 and add it to give you a -5? Okay. Hold your answers, guys. Hold them. Yeah, it's like finding those pieces is the hardest part. Everything else will go with the flow. Okay, we got pretty eyes. Is that Kai or K? Yeah, it's Kai. Kai's got it. Okay. Don't you add the x squared when you do the diamond? Don't you add the x squares? Trying to understand, Victoria. Do you add the x squares? There you go. Hey, Lisa. So when you do the diamond equation, can you do solving that with using least common denominator? No, CJ, that's just going to be torture. Why would you want to make your numbers larger? Okay, start with. Yes, you can start. You can start on the denominator. You can start on the bottom. You can start on the top. Yep, it doesn't matter where you start. Just like life. Doesn't matter how you started off, it's how you finished. Okay. All right, I'm seeing some great answers. All right. So, for the, let's say for the numerator, I want to get my two parentheses. And then I have to think what two numbers multiplied together will give me negative 30 and add together to give me a negative 7. Okay, so some of you guys were giving me 10 and 3, but which one's going to be negative, the 10 or the 3? There we go. There it is, there it is, there it is. Good. So we had negative 10, positive 3. So we split our x's. We put minus 10 in one and plus 3 in the other. Okay. The reason why I'm able to split my x's because my leading coefficient is 1. Okay. So now, for my denominator, my leading coefficient is 1, so I can split my x's. Okay. Then I need to think, what two numbers multiplied together will give me negative 24 and add together to give me a negative 5. So a lot of you were saying 8 and 3, and you were making your 8 negative. Good job. So that means we have x minus 8 here and x plus 3 there. Okay. This is where it all begins, right? Okay. So, what do we notice? Let me zoom in just a little bit. What do we notice? Yep, you got your negative 8 and the 3. Good. I think that was from before. Okay, 2 more steps. Okay, what's one of them? X minus 10 at the top and x minus 8. Okay, I'm assuming at the bottom. Because what did you do to get your x minus 10 at the top, the numerator, and your x minus 8 at the bottom, the denominator? There you go, Kevin. Good. We crossed out the x plus 3's because there was an x plus 3 in the numerator and an x plus 3 in the denominator. So now, what remains is our x minus 10 and our x minus 8. Okay. Questions? Can only do that if they are multiplied, though. Yep, and that's what we're dealing with. Okay, I love watching your videos. Learning is fun and engaging. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yep, I try to keep it simple. But where did the 10 and the 8 come from? Okay. So in order for me to think of what two numbers multiplied together to give me negative 30 and add together to give me a negative 7, negative 10 times positive 3 gives me a negative 30, and negative 10 plus 3 gives me a negative 7. So I'm going to use these two factors to put inside of my parentheses. Same thing happened down here in the denominator. What two numbers multiply together give me negative 24? And add together, same two numbers, add together to give me a negative 5. So negative 8 times 3 gives me a negative 24, and negative 8 plus 3 gives me a negative 5. So then again, we're going to use these factors to plug in or to fill in its parentheses. What happened to the negative 5 and the negative 7? Well, they add together to get my middle terms. So the negative 5, we did the negative 8 plus 3. For me to get the negative 7, it's replaced with the negative 10 and 3. Okay. What's the best way to find those two numbers? A lot of the times it's going to be guess and check, or I hate to say it to sound salesy, or to get a copy of my factor sheet. Okay, this will get a lot because it is. It's basically knowing your multiplication facts, like seriously. And I know it's tough because nowadays, you guys, we don't do cadence like we used to when we were younger. Like when I was younger, I remember saying, okay, today, guys, we're going to do the 4 times table. And we literally had to go 4 times 1 is 4. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. Ever since this thing called the calculator came in, no one does that multiplication or division anymore. Well, hello, Michael. When'd you sneak in here? Do you have to have the factor sheet? You have to have that factor sheet, don't you? I mean, you don't have to. You can do guessing and checking on your calculator. It's just going to take a little while longer. And then after a while, when you use the factor sheet, eventually you're not going to need it because you're so used to seeing, you're exposed to the numbers, and then you'll be able to get those sets of numbers so much quicker. Okay, can you have the cheat sheet? Sure, it's inside of my book. You just have to buy it on Amazon. And then you can actually have the pages of my notes. And I was on earlier and someone asked me, what do I do with the notebooks when I'm done? I was like, you know what? I think I might auction them off. Okay, it's done at the elementary level. Okay, I just took a test on this. Okay. The psychedelic cover, right? Yes, you can do the psychedelic cover. This is like the most popular one. Psychedelic cover, and I think this one is, I finally was able to get the green one. So, and then there's another one with, I think, hexagons on them. So they all have the same stuff inside. It's just 3 different covers. So, pick your poison. Okay. No, Vanessa, I'm not doing limits. Definitely not. Okay. Are these things called equations, right? No, they're called expressions because I'm not setting them equal to 0. I'm not trying to solve them. I'm simplifying them. Okay? That's the difference between an equation and an expression. All right. I'm going to test on this tomorrow. Okay, cool. All right. Let's do... Okay, we got time. Let's do a couple more. I'm studying right now, and you popped up at the perfect time. Because I'm stalking you. No, I'm just kidding. It is fate and kismet. All right, so let's try this one. Okay, I'm going to bring it on down here just to give us a little bit of room. If you can tap while I'm writing, that will be fabulous. Okay, plus 4, 2, V, Oh, not V. Sorry. That's supposed to be an X. I don't know what my obsession with V's lately. Don't know. So we got 2x squared plus 26x plus 84. Okay. So 6x cubed plus 42x squared over 2x squared plus 26x plus 84. Okay. Breathe. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Yep. Khan Academy. Okay. It's going to be all right. Pretty eyes, breathe. Breathe. You're not breathing. You guys keep thinking you're by yourselves. You're not by yourselves. We're going to walk through this step by step, and then you're going to be like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden you're throwing up the answer. Do you do ones with finding the W? Do ones with W, finding the W? Sure. I mean, the variable can be anything. You know, the variable itself can be anything. Hello, Amber. Oh, thank you for the donut. I can really go for a donut right now. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be good. It's so hard, man. All right. Are you ready? We're going to do this. We're going to do this together. We're going to get through it. All right. So, as I mentioned, let's take it one step at a time. So, I'm going to cover up the denominator. Okay, let me know. Because I know some people are probably still copying. Aaron! Okay. All right. Doing all my shout outs. So, just the numerator. We have 6x cubed plus 42x squared. What do they have in common? I know, but see that tiny donut, what is that doing? Just teasing the whole complications. All right, so I have some C's, I have some X's, I have a 6x squared. Okay. Yes. All right, so 6 and 42, they both have 6 in common. There's 3 x's here. There's 2 x's there. They have at least 2 x's in common. All right, so if you're not sure what I'm talking about, I have 3. 1, 2, 3. And then the 42 had 2 x's. So they have 2 sets of x's in common. Okay? So that's why that is an x squared. Another way of doing it, it's kind of like flashed for a second. That was weird. Another way of doing it is basically always take, if they all have x's, take the x with the lowest exponent. That's the shortest way to do it. Okay? So now, since 6x squared is my GCF, I'm going to divide it by the original. So 6 divided by 6 gives me 1. X cubed divided by x squared. Remember, when you divide, you subtract the x's. If you want to think of it this way, I have 3 x's. I took 2 out. That means I have 1 left over. If that helps, that always kind of helps with me. Bring down the plus sign. So now we got our 42 divided by 6. That will give me my 7. And then we have 2 x's. We took 2x's out. We don't have any x's left over. Okay, how are we feeling? Okay, all right. Cool. Factor out, then I can see what's in common. Exactly. I forgot who said that because all of a sudden things started going. Yes. Thanks for the follow and sharing the lives, please. If you know of anyone that's like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do on this test, and they're like, wow, she's doing exactly what's going to be on the test. Yeah, share the live. Okay, that's the numerator. Okay, now I'm going to cover it up so we can just focus our attention to the denominator. What do you notice about the denominator? Okay. Good. Okay. All multiples of 2s. Thank you, Celeste. Okay. They're all multiples of 2. And also, Lisa, you said that as well. Good. Okay. So the GCF is 2. Good. They're all even numbers. So that means we can pull a 2 out. So, is it just a 2 or a 2x? Okay. So careful. Don't ever let me change your answer. Take a look. The 2 has x squares. The 26 has an x, but the 84 does not have an x. So we don't have any x's in common. So your GCF is just going to be a 2. All right? Don't let me influence you. So now we're going to divide the original by 2. So that means I have x squared. Okay, bring down my plus sign. Half of 26 is 13x. Bring down my plus sign. And half of 84 is 42. Okay. All right, use an X puzzle. Okay. All right, so how are we feeling? So this is what we got so far. Yes, the GCF is the greatest common factor. Correct. All right, good. 13 and 42. Thank you, Lisa. There are 3 x's total, right? For the numerator, my highest degree was x to the 3rd. Is that what you're asking, Michael? Can you do a question with square roots? Not tonight, because I'm actually going to have to wrap up in about 20 minutes. So I just really want to know for the denominator. No. Well, we had 2 x's here and we had 1 x there, but we're not adding them. Is that what you're asking, Michael? Okay. I'm so cooked. Oh, Logan. Okay, when do you go live? Oh, thank you. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 8:30. That's Monday through Friday. Well, I'm changing my times because I can't be here tomorrow. But I will be here 1 p.m. on Friday and usually 8:30 Mondays and Wednesdays. Monday through Wednesday. All right. If we notice inside this parenthesis, inside, yes, next week, yes. So inside this parenthesis, this can be broken down further. The reason why I know is because it has a high degree of 2. So that means I'm doing what I did up here with my parentheses. But I'm going to put it right underneath so I can see it better. I'm going to split my x's, and then I'm going to ask you, what two numbers multiplied together will give me 42? Make this a little bit bigger. Okay, what two numbers multiplied together will give me 42 and add together to give me 13? Exactly. Thank you. Good. I love this interaction. Good job. So I'm seeing 7 and 6, 6 and 7, 6. The chart. Yep. 6 and 7, 6 and 7. Okay, so if we go with 42s, 42, here we go. We got 1 and 42, 2 and 21, 3 and 14, and 6 and 7. So which one of them, if I add them together, will give me 13? It's going to be your 6 and 7. All right? So when you come in, you have your plus 6 and your plus 7. Okay, so let me clean this up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to put it right underneath. So we have 6x squared, and we have x plus 7 for our numerator. For our denominator, we have 2 times x plus 6 times x plus 7. Okay, we replaced these two products with this expression. Okay, now taking it here, what do you notice? Okay, what do you notice? Talking about right here. Okay, you can cancel out x plus 7, cancel x plus 7, get rid of the common factors, cancel x plus 7. Okay, x plus 7 goes away, cross x plus 7, yes. So whatever's in the numerator and in the denominator, they can cancel out, which gives me 1. 1 times anything is going to be itself. So what else? Okay, we got the x plus 7s. What else can be canceled out? This is the one that was a little trickery. What else can be canceled out or simplified? Okay, so the 13x is replaced by the 6 and the 7. Because 6 plus 7 gives me 13, and 6 times 7 gives me my 42. That's what happened to the 13x. Okay. The 6x, already saying 6 divided by 2, we can break down the numerator. We have 6 and 1x, factor out the 2. So how about simplifying? So I noticed the whole numbers, not what's inside the parenthesis, but now I noticed that this whole number, we got a 6 and we got a 2. Now remember, up here is mostly multiplication. So that means this 6 and this 2 can be divided. The coefficients can be divided. So 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. And that 3 is going in the numerator. So I'm looking at 3x squared, okay, because that x plus 7 canceled out, over x plus 6. And this is my official final answer. Okay, so we had to take it one step further by looking at the coefficients and seeing if they can break things down. Okay, good. How are you feeling? Thank you, Darlene. I know. Okay, we're feeling all right. We're holding on. Okay. All right, 6 out of 10. I will take that. I would take that, considering, is this the first time you're seeing it, Angel? If it is, I would definitely take that. What I did wrong. Okay. Jumped in the end. Where'd the 42 go? So the 42 was factored. Let me see if I can bring it down a little bit. So the 42, we went through this whole, what two numbers multiplied together would give me 42 and add together to give me 13. So we figured that 6 and 7 are the two numbers we need to fill in, because 6 times 7 gives us 42 and 6 plus 7 gives us 13. So we're replacing this 13x with the 6 and the 7. Okay, so that's what happened. All right. Let's just attempt at this. All right, thanks. Oh, well, thank you. What if the terms in the denominator were not a perfect square? Okay. Would you approach the... Where is the rest of it? Okay, we approach the problem the same way. So these weren't really perfect squares, because if they were perfect squares, I would get the same number in both parentheses. Okay, so if I had... I'm going to shoot over just for a second. I'm sorry, guys. If we had, let's say, this example. I'll give myself a little bit of room. So if I had, let's say, b squared plus 3b minus 28 over b squared minus 49. Okay, so this is the one that we're doing now. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I just looked up and I was like, thanks, who sent that to me? Oh, thank you, Queen. I appreciate that. Who created this? It was some monk that was bored out of his mind. There was nothing back then. There was nothing going on back then. So they're just like, what can we do to screw up generations later on? We will call it mathematics. We will call it algebra. Let's throw some letters in there. Oh, okay. Something like that. Yes. Thanks, Janae. Okay, so Kevin, this is what we're talking about. This denominator, this is a perfect square. Okay, because since it's a negative, b squared minus 49, 49 is a perfect square. So this will give me b plus 7 and b minus 7. Okay, because 7 times 7 gives me 49, and one has to be positive, the other one has to be negative in order for it to be negative. Now, here's a little quick tip for you guys. If you ever see b squared plus a perfect square, you can't break it down. You can only break down when it's a difference of squares, okay? So if it's ever like x squared plus 16, you can't break it down. Okay, you just have to bring that down, all right? Just so you guys get a heads up. How can you tell if it's a perfect square? If it's a number that's multiplied by itself, okay, and you get that result. So say 2 times 2 gives me 4, okay? 4 is a perfect square. 3 times 3 gives me 9. 9 is a perfect square. 4 times 4 gives me 16. 16 is a perfect square. Okay, so a number multiplied by itself to give me that result. Something times something equals x. Yes, Nikki. Good job. All right. So that takes care of my denominator. But we got to do something with the numerator. And of course, I did not give myself room up top. So we're going to take it down here, right? So we have, I'm going to split my b's. Because my leading coefficient is 1, I can do so. So now, let's think. Let me slide this over. What two numbers multiplied together will give me a negative 28 and add together to give me 3? And I'm going to tell you over and over again, this is the toughest part. Okay? So what number multiplied together will give me a negative 28 and add together to give me 3? Jamila? Jamila is saying 7 and negative 4. And Janae is saying negative 7 and positive 4. Which one is it? Well, at least we got the 7 and 4s. That's awesome. But which one's going to be negative? Is it going to be the 7 or the 4? Okay, a couple people, Lisa's saying the 4 is going to be negative. Pretty Eyes is saying the 4 is going to be negative. Okay, Nikki's saying the 7 is going to be negative. Tasha's saying the 4 is going to be negative. All right, so we got a mixture. So let's see. All right, we know that one of these is going to have to be negative. And when I add them together, it has to equal this number here. If I make the 7 negative, negative 7 plus 4, that's the same as saying negative 7, okay? Negative 7 plus 4 is like doing subtraction. Negative 7 plus 4, that's going to give me a negative 3. You owe me $7. You paid me 4. That means you owe me 3. We're not looking for a negative 3. We're looking for a positive 3. So if I do 7 plus negative 4, it's like me saying I have $7 and I spent 4 and I still have $3 left. Okay, so that's a good thing. That's why it's positive. All right, so the 4 is actually going to be the one that is going to be negative. Okay. No problem. No apologies needed. Okay, this is how we're learning. So we do our plus 7 and our minus 4. Okay, so this is my numerator. So let me bring it. Let me bring the denominator. So that's b plus 7 over b minus 7. Okay, what's happening? Do I do calculus? I do not, but I do have a guy. Drag me to sleep. Love your name. That's how I feel right now. Okay, what's happening? Yes, the plus 7s cancel out. Genesis, I haven't seen you in forever. I remember seeing you early on when I first started. Okay. Yup. All right, Nikki, good. Good. Doing the Lord's work. We're trying. So my b plus 7, they cancel out. Good. So that means what is left over is going to be the b minus 4 over the b minus 7. And that will be my answer. Okay. right. So, looked at various variations. Looked at many variations of it. So we did with the basic, if I may. I'm going to drag down and see if I can unzoom so you guys can take a picture of it. It might be multiple pictures. Sorry, guys. Sometimes this window is like really teeny tiny small. But I think this will work for us. Okay, so first I started off with a binomial divided by a monomial. Okay, just simple, finding your GCF and then reducing the GCF with the denominator. Then we did two binomials. So again, found the GCF, and then we figured out what they had in common in both the numerator and the denominator so we can cancel those out. Then, took it up a notch, we divided a binomial with a trinomial. Okay, so we had to go back into our arsenal of factoring with trinomials. So since the leading coefficient is 1, we had to kind of split that up and then figure out what two numbers multiplied together will give us our last term, our constant, and add together to give us our middle term, which is our x. Once you figure that concept out, you can set up your parentheses. And then once you set up your parentheses, see if there's something that you can cancel out. Okay, what is a coefficient? A coefficient is the number that is in front of your variable. So let's say this 2r. Okay, the 2 is your coefficient. It's in front of your r. Whereas for this one, the 2 is the coefficient for the x cubed. The cube is your exponent or your degree. Okay. But what is the point? What is the point? I have no idea. I love it. Do you want me to lie to you? So my whole thing is there is various levels of math in almost anything. I don't know where you want to go with your life. Okay, I always tell this with all my students. I don't know where you want to go with your life, but all I know there is math that is involved in it. So if you want to do your own computer programming, if you want to be an engineer, if you want to be in the Air Force, if you look, whatever it is, I'd rather you say that I've seen this before versus what the hell is this and you looking a fool. So I want to introduce you to as much math as I can possible so you won't be like the last person out. I don't want you to feel that way. I used to feel that way when I was a kid, and I sure as hell don't want anybody else to feel that way. Okay. Can we add a number in front of the first term like 7? That would change how you factor the expression. I mean, in the denominator of the last x we did. Okay. So if you go higher, you're going to need this. Yeah, that's definite. You're opening your life. Yeah. It's everywhere. All right. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to wrap things up. I know we want more. We want more. Okay. I'm going to see because I know tomorrow night I will not be here. I will not be here for tomorrow during the day or the evening. I have to go to a funeral. So on Friday, I will be here at 1 p.m. I am playing around with the idea of possibly going on Saturday afternoon. But I'm definitely will be here at 1 p.m. on Friday. And I'm thinking about going Saturday afternoon. I was going to go at 8:30, but then I got a client and I was like, look, I need the money. Let me think. I know CC, if she's still here, was here earlier, and she was like, this college algebra is kicking my butt. And I'm thinking about putting a study group together just for college algebra right now. Because if I tried to do it for geometry and pre-calc and all that, it's just too overwhelming for me. So if you are currently taking, say, college algebra, or you're taking intermediate algebra, if you're like in a community college and you're taking like, the basic maths, and you are just like, I need help, I really want to get together like some study groups. Now, when I say groups, I'm talking like 4 at the absolute most 5 students. So you don't feel overwhelmed. I'm not here to just make it into a money maker. But if that does sound like something that you want to do, and I know people's times are a little weird because we're in different time zones, we either have the option of my courses that I have online that's on demand, or you can be a part of this study group. And I'm thinking about the study group possibly like on the weekend, or maybe after my lives. It might be something like that, or maybe early in the afternoon or morning. We have to figure out what our time schedule is going to be like. That's going to be probably like the toughest part, but definitely want to do that. Okay, so yes, so if that does sound like something that you're interested in, please, please, please just message me. Okay, please message me. It's like, hey, Audrey, I saw you at your live and you were talking about a study group for college. Please give me some details. Let's brainstorm something. I have 6 weeks left of my online course. Yes. Okay. So let me know what type of course. Okay. If I keep reading, I'll see it. You answer that. Class, which is algebra. Okay. So bad. Okay. It's for college. Not a problem. Okay. So you're going to be one of those people. Please. Reynolds. Do you help with calculus by any chance? I don't. Calculus is not my jam. But if you are serious about, you desperately need help, my friend Robert, he does calculus. He's like my go-to guy. So if anything, go ahead and message me and say, hey, Audrey, can you hook me up with your guy? I got a guy. Maybe add a calendar to your website. I was thinking about that, but sometimes, here's the problem. My hours fluctuate so badly. 1 minute I could be like, yeah, I got my morning off. I can do this. And next thing you know, hey, Miss Audrey, can we change? And that's what I do. So it's kind of like, I know, once it's something like this set in stone, but I totally get you. I would love to be able to have like a basic, these are when I'm actually going to be open. Okay. All right. Definitely, Janae. I'll see you. Are you a math teacher? Yes. I used to teach in the classroom for 22 years. And then I just got tired of the foolishness. And I figured, let me do my own online math tutoring business. Yeah. You missed a lot, girl. Yes. And I'm about to get off on here. So, all right. So again, if anyone's thinking about, let's have a study group, let's do it. And go ahead and just message me so that I can sit around and play around with some ideas and some times, because I know we're all going to be in different time zones and everything. And let's see if I can just get you guys started and get you rocking and rolling. Okay. No, you're fine. You're fine. All right, everyone. Oh, wow. Over 15,000 likes. Look at you guys. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate this. Okay, so I will see you Friday at 1 p.m. I have to probably put a post out to remind people that I will not be around at all tomorrow. So Friday at 1 p.m. is going to be next stop. And then I'm going to play around to figure out what time on Saturday. And if you are interested, if you know someone that's interested in us doing like a study groups, I will do multiple ones just to keep it as intimate as possible. If that's what I got to do, that's what I got to do. Because I really don't want you to just be like, oh yeah, it's a moneymaker. No, not doing that. Lord will provide. Okay. All right. What time zone? I'm on Eastern. I'm Eastern. And then, of course, I think this Sunday we're going to be losing an hour. Hey, daylight savings time begins. Oh, gosh. Yes. All right. You are so welcome. Have a great night, guys. And I will see you guys on Friday or possibly sometime this weekend. All right. Definitely message me. Okay. You're not by yourselves. And you guys are doing so awesome. I just want to put that in there. You're amazing. Do not let anything break you down. I love you guys, okay? Stay true to yourself, okay? Good night. Bye.